A fourth episode of Erased. We are back once again. Ignore the break, it happens. Y'all should be so used to this by now happening. Anyways, closeness and growth between our main pairing at the end of the last episode ended on a really high note, I would say. Puts us in a really fun spot with the two of them making promises for the future, so giving us maybe reason to be alive, reason to be here, giving us hope for that to come, which is going to be all the more heartbreaking if, plans don't go the way that we expect by March 1st here, especially with that coming right around the horizon. This could be a big issue. But we had some cute moments overall of them going to a special place together, sharing some moments, finally getting to see a happier side out of Kaio a little bit, some smiles from her for the first time after all the horrors and things that we had to unfortunately see before with her family dynamic earlier within the episode. So some good stuff there. So I'm very excited to see how they want to progress them and how quick the plan is to get us to the birth date. I'm still left wondering. Like, I still don't know if we're planning that to be like one of the last episodes or if we're just going to do that in like the middle. And then it's going to be like, just because we erased it at this moment or caught somebody at this moment or put a stop to something at this moment doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't happen further down the line. So the effects of that within the time travel and protection and all that stuff, actually, like, how does that work? Is it actually as simple as just get past the state, we're good, or just like figure out who this person is, catch them, and then we're good? I don't know. Just because we get past the date doesn't necessarily mean that that person's going to be like locked up and gone either. We got to clear our boy still. I mean, that's also part of his goal is to make sure that he gets cleared a little bit. And then we had Kenya get some weird suspicion thrown on him a little bit at the end of the last episode. They just showed him off with a little weird, dark face and smirk going on in the teacher's office, like he's spilling some info or he's working alongside him or something to kind of suppress this and not let the authorities get involved in regards to Kaya's relationship with her family and everything. So like some weird stuff there. I don't think it's as bad as they're making it out to be. I think it was like more just cliffhanger, like anticipation for what's to come. Isn't actually going to be that bad. I think it's more of he's just recognizing maybe what's going on, and he's probably trying to say the exact same things that we just had Satoru end up telling the teacher too. It would just be my guess. I would hope so, because Kenya's like the only level-headed person that we've kind of encountered up to this point, so it would be nice if that's the case, but we'll have to see. There's still always suspicion to be thrown on him for the immense amount of information he seems to be able to come by or wrap into his small old brain. So I get no clue where they're headed with that, but I'm interested. We're gonna keep an eye out, I guess, for this to come. Hopefully they get the relationship blossom a little bit more, maybe grow a little bit of like Satoru's friends kind of come around, or maybe get some of the girls to want to be friends with Kaio as well. It doesn't necessarily have to go that way, but I would just like to see like a more positive sort of school life come out of her here, as opposed to just only having him as the single safe space and person that she feels like she could trust. So we'll end up seeing where that goes. That might be things that have to form a little bit later down the line, though. Oh, also, just thinking about it, they did mention that they had a hideout. So I'm wondering if maybe we can go there with her to kind of keep her away from being at home, like directly after school, and keep her like out of contact, I guess, with her parents as for as long as we can. It would be a nice little sort of thing. So I guess we'll end up seeing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed though. If you like it all, like and subscribe down, so we feel free to stick around for the discussion. Leave the comments 0 to 0 with episode 4.
1年前の3月1日、いつものようにひなずきは一人でこの公園に立っていた。時間は6時少し前だったか。あの時、俺はアジトへ向かった。なくした手袋を取りに行ったはずだ。
Yeah,
手袋があったかどうかは覚えていない。
probably not.
アジトから出て土手に目をやると、川の方を向いて座る。
The suspect, of course, the only person that we came in contact with.
ほぼ最短距離で公園に戻って通り過ぎた時、ひなずきの姿はもうそこにはなかった。
Dragged out and buried to the snow.
はい、黒板に注目。ひなずきかよが連続誘拐殺人事件最初の被害者になるまであと1週間。X で3月1日を無事に乗り切って、翌日の誕生会をひなずきと過ごす。それこそが未来を変えることになる。
Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to do what you want, but it's going to change it. February 25th. What's my birthday? Little known fact, unknown fact, I guess.
度の土曜日ちょっと出かけたいんだけど。
デート？
そんなんじゃない
Look
けど。
that. Oh, that's where your mind
科
goes.
学センター行こうと思って。
Can't just be hanging out with friends. Come on.
お小遣いあげるのにさ。
マジか。
Maybe you should change.
うちにも連れてくればいいべさ。
Fuck no. To you, no.
会の時来るよ。
Oh, she's coming, alright.
ご外区のひなずきさんか。
まんまと誘導尋問されちまってる。
気をつけて行ってきなよ。
ありがとう。
さあ、早く食べちゃいな。
Will she understand that, you know? I always like interactions like that. Like with friends or parents or something in these shows. They're just like, it's like with a girl, isn't it?
ひなずきを家から、いや、あの母親の暴力から引き剥がすんだ。
Hope you do.
なんだい？
ここわかんないから教えて。
ん？どれどれ？
みんな色ぼけてて腹立つ。
お前だって最近まであいつらの中の一人だったろ。
Yo, what happened?
意地張ってないでお前も行けばいいじゃん。
じゃんって何？
Yo.
かっこつけ
Yeah, what, what do you mean by that?
しまった。
先生は私のこと泥棒だって思ってるべさ。
I mean, you set her up. You're kind of a little evil. I don't think you're a thief. I just think, you know.
土曜日みんなで科学センター行かない？ひなずきも一緒なんだけど。
あ、それいい。
ごめんサトル、俺その日外せない用事がある。
そう。
すまんサトル、俺も大事な用があっていけねえわ。
I think he's trying to play like a bro move here of letting them go together, but he asked you to come. He asked you to come. It's okay.
二人の方がいいべや。
したっけ？
Well, guys, though, I appreciate it.
何かあった？
They don't want to hang out with you.
土曜日はひなずきとデートだから遊べないって伝えたとでも言うか。
Oh, but you
声
did
に
say
出
it.
て
Yeah. Consistent theme.
土曜日は早く帰ってこいって。
Oh,
お母さんが。
can you come
連
over?
れて行きたいと
I
ころ
don't
が
know
あ
if
るんだ。
that's a good idea. Yeah.
俺が話してみるからさ。
I don't know about that.
ケイヤ、ちょっと職員室寄ってくれないか？
ダメよ。子供が二人で出かけるなんて。
ただ遊びに行くんじゃなくて勉強しに行くんです。
勉強は家でできるでしょ。土曜日はかよがうちの手伝いをする日なの。
手伝い？何の？
お前のストレス発散の手伝いかい。
Yeah, but don't. Yeah, don't push too hard here. The more anger you make her hear, the more she's gonna want to take it out on her.
何か起きた時誰が責任取んのよ。
こいつ開き直ってやがる。
あんた何なの？こんな不愛想な子連れ出して何の得があんのよ。
友達を助けるのに損も得もない。
Eve, my friend. Yeah, interesting wording.
助けるって白馬の王子様気取り。
しまった。
It's exactly what you think so.
やっぱりまずか。
Yep.
あんたはどうなのさかよ。この子と
Doing the right thing, but you're going about it wrong.
色ぼけんなこのガキども。
In front of him's crazy.
ひなずきさん、子供たちに向かって色ぼけはないべさ。人のうちの問題でしょ。半分はうちの問題だべさ。子
Ugh.
供が何事かにやる気を見せてるんだからさ。こっちが手伝ってあげようよ。親なんだから。うちとひなずきさんちって似てると思う。今度うち来て話さない？
Don't know why you would want to talk to her.
あよ、入りな。
土曜日約束だよ。
出しゃばったべか。
No, you were needed. But it's
仕事早く上がれたからさ。
ah,
頭あんたたち見かけてつけてみてよかった。
yeah.
つけてきてたの？
冗談に決まってるべさ。
No, that's cute.
でもまあとりあえず今日は大丈夫っしょ。あの子意外といい服着てたべさ。あれは母親が外面気にしてるからだべね。めんこい子だねかよちゃん。
何照れてんだよ29歳。
Yeah, lock in, bro.
途中で投げ出すんじゃないよ。
当然。
Just yet? No, never.
大好きなんだよなここ。
No one's here, too.
ほとんど人いないね。
勝手に入り込んでるみたいでドキドキしない？俺人いたら隠れたりしてるよ。
バカなのって言わない。
Slowly bring her up a little bit. Let her know it's okay to have some fun.
星はこないだ散々見たべさ。
そうだね。
Got dialogue.
あ、俺ちょっとトイレ。
うん、その辺にいる。
デジャブなのか。
Could have sworn you weren't with her before, though,
来
no?
てた場所ではあるけど、ひなずきと来るのは初めて。
So why are we seeing that?
ひなずき。
Again.
藤沼、今日は誘ってくれてありがとう。私もここ好きだって知ってたの？
知ってた。だからここ。漫画描こうなんて人は
こういうところ来たがるもんなの
？18年前同じ会話をしたのを覚えている。一人で来た俺はここで偶然ひなずきに。
Ah.
何？
いや、
But what was the whole part before this? Haven't she have swung that on her own then?
同じ時を繰り返してる。未来を変えるつもりが知らず知らず同じ時のレールに乗ってしまっている。
Are they still gonna align? Hmm. Something's weird.
コート持つよ。
今？
What a
行
gentleman.
動によって変わったことだってたくさんある。信じろ。未来は変えられる。
藤沼、勇気出して来てよかった。
あっせ。
用事早く済んだから来たよ。
遅くなってごめんね。
Did he tell them where he was going?
ほら、変わった。
Aw.
邪魔だったかな。
そんなことないよ。な、ひなずき。
あ、サトラ紳士的。
That was my line. Mission was not accomplished yet. let's slow down.
藤沼、おはよう。
おはよう、ひなずき。
よかった。
She's smiling, she's happy, she's greeted, she's on time.
顔、綺麗だな。声に出てた。
Whether you're making it a habit.
バカ、その前に言いのって。
And we're right before the date, so oh brother.
ひなずきが殺されるのは明日。
Mm-hmm.
3月1日。
Mm-hmm.
ここからが本当の勝負。
したっけ、ひろみ。
また明日ね。あ、お母さん。
こんばん
Dressed
は。
up, makeup.
じゃあ明日朝迎えに来るね。
ひなずきはいなくならない。
She'll be right with me, because if she goes somewhere, I'm going somewhere.
いつも公園で一人ぼっちだったのが原因だ。
You'll be right there.
じゃあ
I mean, I think the idea to save her is to not go to the park. But you gotta find the person.
今日は早く帰りたいんだけど。
そんなこと言わないで付き合ってよ。
うん。
大丈夫だ。
また私の勝ち。
強っ。
大丈夫じゃねえ。
ねえ藤沼、もう帰りたい。
うん。そうだね。
I have a few ideas for how they're gonna do this, and I'm not sure which way I'd prefer. But I guess we're about to find out.
雪。
All the pieces are falling into place. The heavy snow will begin to fall. Yuki's locked in, giving us a rough idea of where everyone is at the time.
明日も迎えに来るから。また明日ね。
できるだけ大きな声をかけた。ひなずきに、中にいるひなずきの母親に、近くで聞いているかもしれない誰かに。俺がここにいるぞと、こんなにあっけなく。
But you're also not with her to know what you're accomplishing. Or if you're accomplishing. Oh, we're going.
バカだな、俺も。
Yeah,
こ
but
こ来たって。
I would have too. I'm not gonna lie. When it's like, huh, nothing happened. then it makes you wonder, is it from the inside or because we altered other things?
間違いなく歴史を変えたぞ。
Still here.
おはよう、ひなずき。
バカなの。
Landed on a little much.
大騒ぎしてやる。
Let's
み
go.
んなで買い物し。
おいサトルかよ、ちょっと来て手伝ってくれ。
なんで今日に限って。
It's our day.
仕方ないっしょ。この間日直の時ポカやったからじゃない。
It's a feeling of uneasiness because something's off, but it's not, you know?
そういや、18年前もぴったり5000円だったな。誕生日に浮かれていた俺は、持ってた金全部使っちまって。
Regardless of who was there.
大量のサンドイッチを作って食べたんだっけ。
Aw. Everyone's gonna be here.
ただいま。
Hmm.
せーの。サトル、ひなずき、誕生日おめでとう。
That's cute. Got their names on the sign and everything.
自分たちでやりたいって言うから協力したさ。
Aw.
まさか放課後の手伝いも。
Yeah.
八代先生。
Aw.
ひなずきの誕生日も教えてくれたよ。
私、プレゼント間に合わない。
Aw.
もしかしてなんか作ってくれてた。
そっか、俺から離れたがってたのって。
昨日、もう少しだったのに寝ちゃった。
気にすんなよ。後でちょうだい。じゃあさみんな、5000円分の材料でサンドイッチ作ろうぜ。
The later to never come. I'm being negative. It's just something's there.
大勢でやるサンドイッチ作りはとても楽しかった。18年前と違って1日で全部食べきった。
Nice.
友達がいるって楽しいな。
Mm.
俺とひなずきはみんなからたくさんのプレゼントをもらった。
It's nice they thought of her
そ
too.
して
開けてみてよ。
Nice. Well done, brother. Well
あり
done.
がとう、藤沼。みんなもありがとう。ほら、藤沼とみんなも友達になれてよかった。今日はありがとう。プレゼント、明日渡すね。約束。
約
Does it
束。
now?
おやすみ。
おやすみ。
We're making a whole lot of promises.
やったぞ。
Best birthday ever.
俺は歴史を変えたんだ。家に帰ると
Went to sleep with the scarf.
昨日からの疲れがピークに達し、張り詰めていた気持ちが一気に緩んで、そのま
Sleep
ま
with the
倒れ
biggest smile on your
このよ
face.
うに眠ってしまった。
All according to plan. Until
やっべえ、遅刻だ。セーフ。
遅刻はかよ一人だけか。
翌日、ひなずきは学校に来なかった。ひなずきと最後に交わした約束は果たされなかった。
we're gonna end it there. That's fucked up. Really awesome episode. That's kind of the one thing I want to get across here. I think it just nails a bunch of the beats that it necessarily needed to for basically what I asked at the beginning, right? For continuation of the relationship, growing closer together, willingness to bring his friends potentially involved and have her maybe find her way into the group a little bit more. Is nice, you know, giving her more of a purpose outside of just Satoru to come to school and people to interact with, lighten up her life a little bit, as well as a confrontation with her mother, with two mothers, I guess, realistically, that evolved into something a little more too. It kind of nailed, I think, absolutely everything that it needed to. The big issue with it, which isn't necessarily on the writing itself or really anything, like I can't fault it because you need this in the story. It's just the suspense being built for like she's not going to be there type of thing at the end of the episode was like obvious from the beginning that we were headed there, right? I thought that we were just going to flip to the next day and then he just wasn't with her and then things would end up going bad, but not the case because we weren't far enough in the episode, I guess. But it felt like one of those things that we're building up. We also have like a lot of unresolved plot lines and things that we have to still trace back to and follow down and completely cross off that we haven't gotten to. So we can't just end it and make everything good in the way that it is. So it's one of those like that suspense of just like, when's it gonna or how's it gonna happen, I guess also is there, which is excellent and has been built up, but just the more of like, we knew where the episode was going to end from the beginning type of thing, I think also makes a little, you know, it's probably the biggest hit that realistically comes along with this. But it's not bad because it's necessary for continuation and, you know, within this episode. So nothing really wrong there. Just want to point out, I guess, where my mind was going for the amount of times I probably brought up like, oh, that sounds, you shouldn't say that. I shouldn't be making all these promises. Oh yeah, really? You're not gonna see her tomorrow. Probably something's gonna come up here. You know, I wouldn't trust that. All of my reactions towards something along those lines were built completely off of this general idea and emotion, I guess, that I was really feeling here. But outside of that, like I said, I think everything else was super cool. And it highlights a big flaw in regards to Satoru's mindset for most of this, which he even begins to start questioning, and wrongly kind of accepts, that he's kind of already overcome it in regards to him changing the different pasts and the things that he's kind of reliving. You know, I'm getting deja vu. Oh, I've been through this. Oh, but look, now I have new people here. Now I have this. Things are changed. Things are better. If I just insert myself in all these certain spots and then we get past this date, things are good. It's kind of what I talked about earlier too. Just because we get past this date doesn't necessarily mean that she's going to be okay. That's not what that means. There's still somebody out there who's hunting people for a reason, whether she's specifically targeted or it was just because time and place. There's others who come after her that end up getting attacked. So she's likely on this list. So the odds are it's going to happen to her anyways. My questioning is like, I wonder if her parents are really involved. It feels too obvious to kind of go down that sort of route. But I'm wondering it from just the mindset of like, if we target her, we can take her out, which might have been what they're ideally going for, which I don't completely know why. But then we have to go after others because then it looks more suspicious if only one person was targeted from like her grade or her age group sort of thing. And then it looks less like obvious to like maybe frame us as the potential ones going after them if all these other kids are going, because then it's just not, we can only focus and single out this one specific girl or this one family or, you know, these other things that they might be able to indicate in regards to, you know, the abuse and a bunch of other stuff that was going on there. But anyways, where I was at the beginning or towards the end of the episode, when I was saying, I wonder where we're going to go. Like I had a few different options and we were just going to wait it out and see in regards to how they were going to handle the disappearance basically of her. And it's not just the disappearance, it's like the death almost of her. Like in my mind, I'm starting to wonder, do we go down the route of this still happens, we revert back to where we initially kind of spawned in back here and retrace our steps and begin again, and we continuously do it until this single like kind of problem in which we're trying to solve is solved, and we just utilize all the pieces that we've built up to get us to this point again. Or do we more so play it like things change like this, and then now we're going further into the future and we have to do this, and we have to kind of correct things. Regardless, we could actually play it both ways in a sense, right? We could still push it past this date. We've made it to the third and then still have something happen where it's like you failed, you got to go back and we got to do it again type of thing. However that would trigger and work, I have no idea. But I am interested to see what they do. I think we probably play it a lot more straight though. I think we just probably just go, she disappeared. She isn't actually dead. She just didn't come in that day and it got him really spooked. But now he's like really worried and starting to think like, oh shit, this is still a possibility come afterwards. I almost hope that's not the case. I don't know. Saying that now makes me feel like it's wrong. Saying that now makes me just kind of think that she actually did get like taken or killed here. I don't know. I think I'm still torn. I'm still stuck on how I would like it and what is actually happening. I think we're working that out still. So I think we're just going to leave it at that. And I'm not going to push too much more into like creating ideas for how they want to present this. And I'm just going to let it kind of unfold right now until we have a little bit more, and then I'll come forward with some more thoughts and theories on that. I like the setup here. I was going to the hideout. He was here. You know, she was in her location. All of this happened right before she ended up getting killed. I think that's a good way to kind of track back to, like, I have this sort of memory of what came at this one point, which I think is pretty good. Talking with the mother and her immediately just being like, oh, you going on a date? This. It's really funny. I like the teasing and stuff that comes from it. It's one of the bigger parts of a lot of series that I typically enjoy, when they don't close things off fully between two characters and they bring more of the class element into it, when they bring more of the friends into it, when they bring the family into it in sort of ways, teasing ways almost too, or just like reactionary sort of things where we get like, especially later when he comes in and he, you know, blurts out the compliment that he does to her, and everybody in the class is like, what? Like you said that, and they go crazy over. I think stuff like that's just super fun, and it adds another level of like, it's not just as private between you, and it's a little bit more open to others to end up seeing, and then it really examines your comfortability with somebody else and also yourself and how you kind of take in those sort of things, like when they happen, right? Like if they get presented, it's like one of the, you ever see those videos and somebody like goes up to somebody and they ask them like if they're dating, or they like say, is this your boyfriend or something, and then like the girl has like, or the guy even, usually it's the girl that I see in them, they have like the most like disgusted reaction, like completely like, how could you even assume that I would be with somebody like this? Like they can't even begin to think of a world that something like that's the case, and the guy might potentially think that that's actually like something that's going on between them or whatever, and he's just like heartbroken in that moment, but it's like he has all of his answers almost for how he needs to feel towards you. It kind of feels like something like that, like he does this. She would usually maybe in private or like whatever else, she would just like brush off the compliment, or she would be like okay with it or whatever, but when everybody else does this and hypes it up to be something else, how is she going to react to this? Is she going to shut it down and like try and tell everybody that this rumor, this like this idea that they might have is completely false? Like she can't stand to begin like thinking of potentially him feeling that sort of way about her or even feeling those ways towards him. How do we want to like handle that on her sort of end? And I just think that that's really interesting and kind of telling way of sometimes where people are at. And I think it's a really fun element to introduce into these sort of shows that doesn't necessarily happen enough. And it doesn't happen just that way. It can happen in a variety of other ways, right? We could, because she could still just actually be the type who plays it off and, you know, gets really angry or mad or just like can't stand the sight of like being around him, or people, you know, kind of shipping them together almost. But that could just be like a personality type of almost what she is, not actually who she is. So it doesn't have to necessarily fall in line with that. But I think I'm more so just hinting or talking directly on the ideas of like, I like when like all the friends see what's kind of going on and they make their best efforts to be like good dudes and just step aside so that them two can go together and do sort of things like that, right? They're not trying to hide it and be like super secretive with everything. They're just friends who are just going out or hanging out or doing whatever, and everybody else around them kind of sees what's going on and might tease them a little bit, but at the same time like understands and accepts the boundaries that might be there, or maybe wants to like really push for them even more and do things, especially as his boys do here, to give him that opportunity to get a little bit closer and have that one-on-one time and do things like that. I don't know. I just think that situations like that are super fun and sometimes just really go underutilized in a lot of, I guess, like romance sort of senses, which I would like to see kind of improved over time. So I really appreciate when, especially shows, you know, years and years ago, really capitalize on it. I think it's cool. And honestly, I think maybe that's fully down to the idea of like a lot of the relationship dynamics that you typically get in those series fall in line with like completely like loner guy and super popular girl, to the point that like they almost feel like, or the guy especially feels like he can't be like seen or acknowledged as like friends or being necessarily around that other person. So they have to almost like play it secretive in a way, and he has to like kind of talk to her only in private sort of things. So anything like publicly is just a little too much or too weird for them. I don't know. I think I'm just thinking back on it, like slight spoiler, I guess, for Toradora. If you haven't seen it, it's the second episode, so it's nothing too crazy. But it's like when they got seen together, like after school one day or coming to school, I don't remember what it was, but immediately goes to like all the characters like talking, like filming themselves almost about like a report of what's going on and being like, I swear I saw this, and like just creating like these crazy rumors and stuff like that. Just the excitement and the energy that gets put into the air is super lively and fun, I think, in these sort of situations. And those are things that I just want to see more. Sorry, that's a little sidetrack and tangent, but I like those elements a lot. This, I don't know fully what to read into with her being angry about it. Oh, love's just in the air and not wanting to fall in line necessarily with them. I don't fully know if there's something else I should think in regards to her, or if it's just a transition into what exactly was about to go down between him and his boys here. Mom told me to come straight on home, and then look, he brings him in. So I'm assuming this is when he tells him, and it's probably not what we saw at the end of the last episode. So if so, then I have no clue what's going on there. She shuts her down completely, doesn't want her to go. And this is just a tough and shitty situation to handle, right? It's like you want to save her, as he almost puts it. You want him to go out of his way, and actively, like, you're rooting for her to get out of this shitty situation and actually do the things that she wants to and not feel like she's fully trapped by her mom here. But look at him, like, what he can't really do too much right here. He probably needs to get other people involved. It's a little bit harder, and you raising your voice and getting her a little bit more angry and aggressive here, especially if she's already taking out anger and things directly onto her daughter, it probably is only going to fuel that even more. It's a really tough thing to kind of handle, and I can't even tell you the proper way to do it. I think everything kind of lucked out here. Like, goes to strike her, and then the mom steps in, I think is really excellent. And it's like, even the way she reacts, like how almost ashamed she is, and I don't know what the history between the two of them may potentially have, but like, she seems like completely, like she shuts down completely, like, different person here after she gets caught by somebody, especially who, like, knowing like I am doing the wrong thing and somebody else is seeing this, and it's like I slipped up. I've been so protective of it, almost like, you know, she's been covering herself all the time. She goes to school and doing all these things, and nobody else is aware of what's going on. And when they do think that they are, we get her out the house, and then they can't find her, and we can't, you know, get in trouble for any of this. So when somebody firsthand's about to catch you smacking her, it's a different, I don't know, it was just following her. This I don't fully agree with in the slightest. You know, she puts her in nice clothes so you can tell that she like loves her, she cares about her, and she cares about her appearance and stuff like that. Like, I think she literally just cares about her appearance because she knows that they're going to get in trouble with all the bruises and the other shit that are on her. And also, like, if you coming into school and she's getting, you know, she has all ripped up clothing and a bunch of all this other sort of shit, it's just not going to look too good. She might even get picked on even more there. That's her own prey in a way, which is like as fucked up as it is to say it. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm buying all of this. She might just mean it that way, but like, for whatever reason, the way I took it is like, you can tell her mom really does care about her. It's like, we're not going to spin this narrative that she's just beating her daughter and then she's does care about her deep down. Like, fuck that. Like, we're not doing that. We're not trying to justify this in any meaningful way. They go out, things are fun, things are cute here, and then all of a sudden he starts clicking it and having these weird moments. It's like almost a flash in a way to what his own ability was doing before in the first episode, but very different. And he's noticing some similarities, but some of the differences too. And he ends up finding out that she ended up just being here before because she ended up coming on the same day years and years ago. The problem with this is her mom did not want her to leave the house at all. So the fact that it took you guys coming in and putting a stop to all of this for them to convince her to actually go, and then she ended up coming on her own, makes me feel a little weird. Like, something feels disconnected and off there. Maybe it is as simple as she just was like, I really want to go here today. And she just asked her, like, do you actually? And she said yes. And then her mom's like, okay, and you can go. Like, similar to what that conversation just was when she looked at her and said, do you really want to go? But then she went to hit her. So like, I don't think it lines up to me that she just happened to be here, but we're gonna, you know, at least it put him on the right track to start thinking like things are changing slightly, but like, we gotta fucking really make an effort here to change this future. And then noticing things really are changing when his boys show up. But it gets me wondering too, like, we're getting slight moments in like other situations, right? They're going out and doing things different. The friends are involved, you know, the birthday changed. We made it to that day, but like, does that mean that the big issue, right, the killer that's out there, the person who's trying to do this, like, that's not solved in itself? So just because we're changing these slight other moments doesn't necessarily mean that the big like barrier that we're trying to like face that needs to be crossed at some point is solved because of these slight sort of differences in what's going on. It's that common thing of like, how much do your little sort of interactions change? You know what I mean? Like what is going to be different about, say, me and my life here if I record this video and upload it whenever I upload it versus if I just sat here and didn't do that today? You know, would things change drastically? Sometimes yes, but is my day tomorrow going to be massively different in comparison? It might have I might have different dialogue options and things, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's entirely different. It's like we didn't cross the big issue, which is essentially, I don't know how this show ends or something. I guess that's the best thing I can think of right now for an example, right? I don't know where the ending is. So whether I watch this right now or I watch this, you know, a month down the line, tomorrow, that's not going to change the outcome. Things might change. Dialogue options change. I can talk to somebody, be like, oh, I watched this episode, but that's not going to, how drastically is that going to change or actually get us past that sort of node that we're looking to? I don't know. And I don't think it necessarily is. So I think like these little mindsets he's having might not be correct, but he becomes really aware of that, I think, towards the end of the episode with her not being there. Him blurting out things that he probably shouldn't continuously is super fun still, and I really like. Here we go, just trying to protect her, trying to be with her as long as he can to make sure it doesn't end up the same way. I like the way that they frame all this with the snow starting up to pile on, everybody being in their sort of situation and showing you a glimpse of where everybody is the night of when this is supposed to go down until it actually doesn't. And then him even not like being able to sleep and having to go check and make sure that we can fully get past that date and everything. I think it's super cool. Showing up to her super early, just waiting on her. Fucking stupid. So funny. We made it, so you think things would be different, but super cute. Everybody showed up. I like how they put her name on the sign. I like how it's completely different. It's not just him and his mom anymore. Things are so much different. We get a big smile from her, of course, throughout the whole day. She's having a blast being with people. Aside of this moment when she starts crying because she was working on a present that he wouldn't let her go home for, which is super, super cute. But we make a promise he's going to get it, and he literally won't. Get the gloves back to her, take her scarf, and that's the last time you're going to end up seeing her. I changed history. Yeah, about that, buddy. Tomorrow's not going to be pretty for you. And look who decided not to be at school today. The only thing you can pray for is, you know, she didn't die and it's just she's running late and or she's just not going to be in today for whatever reason. But I don't know if I'm necessarily buying that. So I guess we'll wait and see. That is going to be all from me. This has been episode 4 of Erased. I'm very excited to be here recording again. I'm going to try and be consistent. It's just, I can't really make any promises on that. It happens when it does. Life be kicking my ass, I'm not gonna lie, and then motivation to like actually sit here and do it is just drained because of that. It has nothing to do with actually not being motivated to record and like watch anime and do things, which has been an issue in the past. That's not there because in my own time I definitely do it. It's just actually like having the energy to be like excited almost like on camera and wanting to like be on camera and do all of it. Like I would gladly sit here and watch the show just very, you know, quiet, my arms folded and like me like leaning all the way back in my chair or something, you know, and not saying a word. Like I would gladly do all of that, but it's just like getting me pumped up to do this and actually feeling like I have the energy after like a long day or whatever. Just that's the problem that's not there. And I'm trying to work on that, but we'll see what happens. We're just going to continue plugging away one at a time. Letting things play its course. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you're still sticking around and checking these out. Greatly appreciate anybody who does, despite all of the hiatuses we typically have been going on recently. If you liked it all, hit the like and subscribe down to me. Feel free to check the video channel. Like on the series. I'll be back for the 5th episode, hopefully soon. Hope you guys have a great one though.